Hey friends, Mark Harrington here, coming to you from my bunker here in Columbus, Ohio. Coming to you live. We are, as everybody else really around the country, we are obeying those stay-at-home orders. So I'm not coming to you from my studios, the Mark Harrington Show, but I am coming to you from my own home studio, the bunker here. And I wanted to give you an update. We've got some exciting news, breaking news, that is that the phone calls that you guys have been making to governors all across America are having an impact. It's working. We are seeing more states come online, issuing direct orders to the abortion facilities to cease performing surgical abortions. So I wanted to jump on our social media platforms today and give you guys some encouragement that you got to keep the pressure on. We got to keep making the phone calls. Here's a quick update, just so you know. Here's a quick update. As of today, Saturday, uh, what is it, the 28th of March. This is a quick update on what's going on all across America relating to these executive orders that are being handed down by governors regarding the non-essential medical procedures that are being asked to cease. So right now, as we have it, the accounting is this. We have 8 states, and if you would, Mr. Producer, go ahead and pop up this map that we've created. We have 8 states right now, as I speak, as of today, 8 states that have ordered abortions to stop. And those states are Ohio, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky, Oklahoma, and Iowa. And they are represented in the map by the red states. Those are the states where governors have not only issued the orders for healthcare facilities to not provide non-essential medical procedures, but they have specifically instructed the abortion centers to not do that, to cease doing surgical abortions. So we're up to 8. Now, a week ago, it was March 17, when Governor DeWine here in Ohio issued the first executive order in America calling for non-essential medical procedures to cease in the state of Ohio. And since then, we've seen 20 or now 30 states issue similar orders. But only 8 at this point are actually targeting the abortion centers because they were not complying. But this is really good news. We've gone from 1 state in Ohio to 8 today. In 8 days, we have added 7 more abortion centers to the list. So that's huge news, folks, and we want to keep the pressure on these governors. Secondarily, if you look at the purple states, these are states where governors have issued orders generally to cease non-essential surgeries. They've been banned, yet abortions continue in these states. And then thirdly, you have the blue states, and these states are where non-essential surgeries have been banned by the governors, and however, they have made special exceptions for abortions. These are the blue states. So you can see this is the kind of layout across America. You got the red states, you got the blue states, you got the purple states, you got the blue states. The red states are specifically being told, these abortion centers being told to cease performing surgical abortions. The blue states are the states where governors have issued general orders that non-essential surgeries would be banned, and these are the states where these abortion centers remain open. And then finally, the blue states where the non-essential procedures have been ordered to stop, but they've also made an exemption, unfortunately, for the abortion centers. So in just 8 days, we've had 30 states issue these executive orders calling for non-essential medical procedures to cease. Of those, only 8 right now, I say only, have completely have targeted the abortion centers. And as of today, and again, this is fluid, it's changing every single day. I'm getting information from around the country, from you folks, reporting on your state. Keep the information coming to us. But we has, as of today, Texas is the only state we can verify where they have ceased surgical abortions, as far as we can tell. But again, this is changing day by day. Now, Texas is abortion free for the most part. That doesn't mean there might be an outlier here, an exception here or there, but they have 24 abortion centers. We have called every single one, and we have found that they are not providing or committing surgical abortions. Now, the news also out of Texas is Planned Parenthood is suing the state to try to keep them killing babies. So that's an ongoing story right there in the state of Texas. So we're continuing to get information from these states. Also, the news from Ohio is this. Ohio is the first to issue the general executive order banning non-essential medical procedures. It was also the first state to specifically, the Attorney General sending an order to 2 abortion facilities, Women's Med Center and Planned Parenthood of Southwest Ohio, specifically telling them to not commit surgical abortions. And since that time, the governor and the Ohio Department of Health Director, Amy Acton, has said that they are investigating violations to the order. In other words, because of the phone calls that you've been making to the Ohio Department of Health, they are now taking this seriously. And how do I know that? Because there was a report in the Dispatch yesterday. That is the Columbus Dispatch. And if you would, Mr. Producer, pop that up on the screen here. This is the Dispatch basically saying that these violations are being investigated by the Ohio Department of Health. And they are specifically investigating the 2 facilities listed in the order. That is Women's Med Center out of Kettering, Ohio, which is Dr. Martin Haskell, who's a late-term abortionist, and Planned Parenthood in Cincinnati. So we know that the Ohio Department of Health is taking it seriously now. They are investigating these facilities because they are not complying with the direct order of the Attorney General. So in the state of Ohio, it's really in the ballpark of the Ohio Department of Health. And we also have additional evidence, not only that the Columbus Dispatch is reporting that the health department is investigating these abortion facilities, but we actually have evidence visually where our sidewalk counselors who are out at these different facilities are reporting back to us. We actually have photograph. This is a photograph taken yesterday from Women's Med Center. That is the late-term abortion center of Martin Haskell in Kettering, Ohio. If you look at this picture, these are Ohio Department of Health employees going in to Women's Med Center to investigate the violations of the Attorney General's order to cease performing surgical abortions. So they are investigating these people in Ohio, and that's good news. Now, hopefully they'll hand down they'll render their judgment. If they're violating, they're going to stop. They're going to cease. They're going to close down. We'll be finding out, hopefully, more about that soon. So here are the marching orders for folks, real quick. Here are the marching orders. First of all, put that map back up, if you would, Mr. Producer. We want to focus, number 1, on the red states. Those are the states that have the specific order from the government, from the governor and the Attorney General, telling the abortion centers to cease performing abortions. We want to focus on those states and hold those states accountable. So what we're asking you to do is to go to protestpp.com/how-to. And if you would pop that up on the screen, protestpp.com/how-to. You can go to these red states in the list there. That is Ohio, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky, Oklahoma, and Iowa, and make a call to the governor and tell them that you want them to investigate these violations of the order that the abortion center should not be providing or committing surgical abortions. So that's number 1. We want people to just focus on those red states for right now, because we want what's happening in Ohio, where the Ohio Department of Health is actually doing on-site inspections. We want that to happen in these other red states, the ones that have specifically sent orders to the abortion center. So we want you to call those states: Ohio, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky, Oklahoma, and Iowa. After you make those phone calls, we want you to call the purple states. If you look at the purple states on the map, these are states where the non-essential surgeries have been banned by the governor directly, but the abortion centers continue to kill babies. And we want you to call those secondarily after you call the 8 red states. And we're asking that the governor write a cease and desist order, like happened in these other 8 states, directly to the abortion centers that are in violation. Because these states are continuing, the abortion centers in these states are continuing to commit abortions in defiance to the orders of those governors. And those states are Minnesota, Massachusetts, Washington, Illinois, New Jersey, California, Pennsylvania, Alabama, North Carolina, Virginia, and New Mexico. There are 11 of those. So make the call to the 8 red states, again, telling the governor and the attorney general there to investigate the non-compliance to the order to cease abortions at the abortion centers in those 8 states. Then make 11 phone calls to the non-essential, the states that have issued the general orders, and and where the states are continuing, the abortion centers are continuing to commit abortion. So those are the 2 action points today. Again, call the red states first, ask the governors and the Department of Health to investigate the violations that are in those states, and then call the purple states, because those are the ones where we want them to write cease and desist orders directly to the abortion centers for not complying with the general order of the governor to cease non-essential surgeries. So bottom line is this: keep the pressure on, keep the phone calls going. A lot of people are jumping in, a lot of groups are jumping in now, which is great. I will exhort you to not email them, okay? They're not going to pay attention to emails in the middle of a COVID-19 crisis. They're just not. We need to call and complain that these abortion centers are continuing to operate, and they're spreading the virus, COVID-19. And they're using up scarce resources, that is personal protective equipment, that could be used to fight the outbreak, the pandemic. So we want people to not email. It's not going to help. I know it's easier to do, and we do provide an email, and it's okay to email, but do that after you make the phone call. The phone call is what matters. So a lot of groups are jumping in. Some are asking you to email. In our view, that is not all that helpful, although we're glad they're helping. It's better to get on the phone. I know it's a heavier lift, but it makes such a big difference when you make the direct phone call to these states. So finally, let's just summarize one more time. Call the 8 states, the red states first, telling the governors to investigate the violations of their direct orders to the abortion centers to cease performing abortions. And then secondarily, call the purple states and ask these governors to directly send cease and desist orders to the abortion centers, specifically telling them that these are non-essential medical procedures, surgical abortions are, and they need to stop, or else they are going to be shut down. So those are the 2 things that I've got for you today in order to take action. Folks, this is an ongoing thing. It's fluid. It's changing every single day, but it's working. Your phone calls are working. Keep the pressure on. Keep the pressure on, and contact the red states and the blue states, because the bottom line is this: the abortion industry doesn't care about fighting COVID-19. That's not what they're about. They want to keep their abortion clinics open, the facilities open, because they care about one thing, and that's killing babies. And that's the bottom line. That's how they're acting. We can't allow that to happen. There is no double standard. There is no exemption for abortion. Abortion is the killing of an unborn baby, the murder of a baby. It's not health care. It's not a medical facility. Pregnancy is not a disease. The baby is not a virus. I mean, this is not what it is. It needs to end. And this is why we're putting the pressure on. So go to protestpp.com/how-to. Call the red states, then call the purple states. And we'll be coming to you regularly on these platforms to give you updates as to what's happening across America. It's working, folks. We got 8 states that have ordered abortions to stop. We got to stay on them and keep the pressure. So you've been listening to Mark Harrington. I'm the president of Created Equal. We'll see you next time. God bless you. God bless America. And remember, America, to bless God. Stay tuned.